together. I'm going to start learning scriptures. We'll begin together. In memory of her father, Eliyahu ben Yosef Cohen. Those who were inspired by Rebbetzin Emerita, Sheila Shapiro, Sarah Esther Makabad, Mishon Misafin, Gail and Leslie Kaplan, in memory of their parents, Mushka Sprinzabad Yosef Chaim Bethava, Hanan ben Moshe Eliezer Bethana, Pesha bat Shmuel Yitzchak Levi V'Tzipora, Isha ben Yoel Moshe Cohen Bethana. Rexford Friends of Gladys Sherman, Gutta bat Meir, Michael Klein and Friends of Judah Klein, Yehuda Tzvi ben Chaim, Marsha Brana in memory of her husband, Harav Yerachmiel ben Shmuel. Friends and family of Arthur Ritholtz, Mordechai Yudel ben Baruch Leib HaKohen. Friends and family of Siggy Bessler, Shalom Shraga ben Dov. Friends of Marvin Weinstein, Mordechai Ozer ben Yisrael Aharon. Sarah Alpert in memory of her husband, Harav Tzvi Lipa ben Hillel. Rexford Friends of Maddie Friedman, Mindel Miriam bat Kalman Ruvain. A month of learning by Susan and Ruvain Podolsky, in memory of her father Simcha Bunam ben Yeshua, by Susan and Ruvain Podolsky, in memory of her mother Chaya bat Abraham Dov. Michael and Judith Poretsky, in memory of his mother Rachel bat Abraham. A week of learning by Isaac and Eda Novick, in memory of his father Eliezer Yaakov ben Mordechai Tzvi, and by Judy Iger in memory of her son, Anshel Yitzchak ben Aharon. Today's the 6th, right? Or the 5th? Today is the 6th. There are no individual days of learning for today. And Hashem is having a liyak, Frank Rafia, Velda, Yeshua, Hashem, Atleya, Kol B'nai Israel, good Gaben Shir. How many? Right. I think that's it. 8 lines up on someone's side. We have a little mop up and then we get into the real essence of it. Omar, you said if a person, remember in this place is where we said that when a person makes their field the collateral and the lender has a right to stay on but the borrower has a right to pay early and stop the deal and stop the lender from using the field. So he said, Amar Ezo Isi Zuzu. Let's say the borrower says, listen, I'm going to go and get money. Okay. At that point, he says, I'm going to get the money. No, it's I have it. Okay, I'm just going to go right now and bring the money to stop using the produce of the field, stop you benefiting. The lawful, he can no longer do it. Ezo If he says, look, I'm going to go to work, so to speak, and earn the money and get the money, so then it's a machlokas. Ravina Mar Achal. Ravina says that the lender can continue consuming. Or Marzutra, but Rav Mari Amar Loachal. He said no, he's not allowed to continue taking the benefit. Hilchos of the halacha is Loachal. Even the guy says I'm going to get the money, even to produce the money, you don't continue. Kind of a papra of ashi loachal. Now we said we said that a legal way for the lender to use the usufruct of the field is to pay a set fee per year. Remember, and he doesn't necessarily pay the amount of the produce that it's eating, but he's also paying a set fee and discounting it uh, uh, from the loan. That's enough to say that he's buying the rights of the produce, and it's not considered to be interest. Okay, but remember we discussed whether you should do it, you shouldn't do it, a Tamachachim should do it. Okay, Ravina Acham and Ravina did. Now the only question is why did Ravina eat if he was a Tamachachim? We said Tamachachim doesn't do it, even though you can do it, but Tamachachim doesn't. So here, ironically, he's saying what that he doesn't because he don't want to consider himself to be a Tamachachim that he can get out. The Chassan Sofer, who was a giant of Torah, um, his wife had passed away, and it was in Pressburg. And the Abba Basin came to the Chasam Sofer in the Pressburg, and he said to him, that was based in, not the Abba, the Masker Basin, he was the Abba, the Masker Basin, so to speak, the secretary. He said, listen, we got a message from Rekiva Eger. His daughter became a widow, and he's looking for a husband for the daughter. So Chassan said, good, look, it's good. I'll try and help him. So a little while later, they came back. He said, listen, we're thinking, maybe you should be the chassan for Ricky Vega's daughter. So he got upset. He said, what are you talking about? He says, also, he says, it's forbidden for an Amma Arts to marry the daughter of a Bas Tamachachim. You don't marry the daughter of a Tamachachim to an Igdirema.
propose such a thing. He's very upset with him. The secretary goes out, but some days later he comes back. He said, "Listen, so we spoke to Rabbi Kiva Eger, and Rabbi Kiva Eger said if you're an Amoritz, that he's also an Amoritz, and it's mutter for the daughter of an Amoritz to marry the daughter of an Amoritz, to marry an Amoritz. So you can be if you're an Amoritz, he's an Amoritz. So you can marry his daughter. So he wants you to marry his daughter. And he did marry his daughter. He did. He married. And anyway, because he didn't want to consider himself a Talmud Chacham, and therefore what? And therefore he did keep a Nachyosa. He did use talk by paying a set fee because it's allowed. Amar Mazutra, my time at the Manda Achabinachyosa. What's the reasoning of the person that says that you can? Why is it okay? The produce you're getting is worth more than what you're paying per year, so aren't you getting interest? He says, me the hobby of steyachuz. Look, it's no different than the halacha of steyachuz. What's steyachuz? Let's say a person dedicated their field, gave it to the temple. Now the person wants to redeem it. So the Torah actually told us that you give it to the temple and you have to redeem it at a set price for 49 years till the Yomi year, to the Jubilee year. So what is it? It's a sell and a punyan per year. So you see what? Just like steyachuz or lav apagav the period too. Isn't it true that look, if the guy who dedicated his field to the temple now he redeems it, he's getting tremendous amount of produce. Nevertheless, he's only paying what? One cell and a punyan per year. He's not paying the price of the fruit. So the same thing over here. As long as you pay a set fee, it's not a problem. It's fine for you to get there. Okay, you get it. Okay. So apart from Barbara Zuzi, you see what? Even though he's getting lots and lots of produce from the temple property, it was redeemed, but with 4 zeros, which is one cell, and he's buying it per year. Like here too, the same thing by Nachyasa, by discounting the loan with a set fee every year. You can use the produce and not consider interest from Roshana. It's no different. Also, but the one who says it's forbidden said, look, it's stay up with that big sheet. Well, that's a special chiddush. The Torah was talking about temple property, but the thing that was sacrificed. So Hashem said, Rahman Upa Pidyon, Baruch decided it's his stuff, and he decided what he wants to give it to you for, even though it's worth much more, you can get away with it. Opinion. Hashem said you can redeem it for a sell and opinion. But here we're talking about a loan. Domestic rivers, at least look at whatever you're going to say. It looks like rivers here. Saying it's a real loan, and you're getting more than you're giving. You can't do it. Rav Ashi said, the elders of Matamaxia told me the following. Stam mashkanta shata. Okay, now the way we're going to like this, that even though we're going to say simply, even though let's say let's say the guy said, this is a mashkanta, my field is subjugated to you for the loan, but I can buy it out, but I can pay the money whenever I want. But nevertheless, shata, there's still it's assumed that he has to leave it for 1 year. The mind after me, what's that? The only one. If the lender already got 1 year of using the field, so then the borrower can pay him off. But if not, even though what he cannot before 1 year he cannot, even if he gets the money, he can't pay him off and get him off the field. Ramar Avashi, Amalei Sabi the Matamaxia, also said the elder, Matamaxia told me this. Ashkanta, when it comes to subjugating a field to a loan, the Shluna Gabe. What does the word Mashkanta mean? So it's like Shachem, Mashkanta. It's like what? Like being a neighbor. The Shluna Gabe. So it means what? It really, what? It turns out that, however you read what the field, but it turns out that the lender is his neighbor. Okay, is his neighbor. He's your neighbor. What does that mean? He's your neighbor. And it says, no matter people, what's the point of Ladina the Bar Mitzvah? Because of the rule of Bar Mitzvah. We have a rule that says Hashem commanded us to do what's straight and what's good. And a person, when it's no sweat off your back, must help other people. You cannot help a person when you're not going to help. You must. With no sweat off your back, you must help other people. And let's say, so if you have a field, and you want to sell your field, now you realize that people who are just in the real estate business, let's go this land to buy every place. But a person who's your neighbor, who's right adjacent to your field, that person needs your field. Okay, it makes a big difference. And they're not just in the real estate business; they want their land to be contiguous. So if they want to expand their property, they want to buy the field next to their field. So for them, your field is not just another field; it's the field that's next to them. So the rule is that you have to give first rights to the people who surround you to buy the field when you're selling it. Okay, they have to pay the money, but they have a right. How could you be not a mess? Let them buy it. Why are you giving it to somebody else? They need your field more than somebody else needs that field. Why? Because it's adjacent to their field. So they come first. So here you're going to say what? that if your field were subjugated to a lender, he's your best neighbor. He's the best neighbor. He's gonna beat everybody and have the rights. If you're gonna sell it, he has the right to buy it. Okay, and that's the name mashkanta. Amarav, okay, Rabbi, let's look at he's going to say, well, there's three cases that this is not the law. Now, I'm going to, yeah, so I want to introduce, this is really preempts the Mishnah, but I want to introduce this point. Their business deals, they made them in ways that would avoid paying interest. Of course, you realize that we're going to figure out from the ways that they avoid transgressing the rules of interest, we're going to figure out a way to get interest without transgressing the law. Okay, how to get interest without transgressing. And what I mean to say. Now, as we're eventually going to figure it out, we're going to learn about Iska. What's an Iska? An Iska is the deal. Two people go into partnership, and it says 50-50, or whatever. We split the losses, and we split the gain. But what's the problem? Let's say one person has money, one person doesn't. One person got merchandise, one person doesn't. It's okay, don't worry, yeah, take the merchandise, and we'll go 50-50. I get 50% of the loss, 50% of the gain, you get 50% of the loss, 50% of the gain. So if you're saying that, by definition, anytime you're guaranteed not to lose anything, that's called a loan. That's not called an investment. Whenever you're in danger, that's called an investment, and not called a loan. You know, lending money without risk is not perfect. Investing money without risk, that's not an investment, that's a loan. You understand? Why do I lend people money? You owe me money. I don't care what happens to you. Give me back my money. I don't care if you have a good year or bad year. You owe me. If I lend you money, it's not my problem how your business went. You have to pay me the money. If I invest, like I told you the other day, if I invest with you, my fortunes, my fortunes, your fortunes are bound together. We're partners. You go up, I go up. You go down, I go down. So now, so a common thing is you have a person who's an investor and a person who's a worker. One guy's money, one guy doesn't. Okay, no problem. Here, I'll give you the money. You'll go to work, and what's good? Okay, and how can I get profit if I'm lending you money? So I'm not lending you. I'm essentially splitting the losses and the gains. So really, what I'm investing 50%, and I'm lending 50%. Think about that for a second. No, if you take half the loss, and I take half the loss, and half the loss you take means what? That half the money I gave you is what? Is a loan, and that's why you have to take the loss, right? And the fact that I take the loss means half the money I gave you is what? An investment. So I'm investing 50%, and I'm lending you 50%. And now, if it goes down, we both lose half, whatever it is. And if it goes up, we both gain half of the profits. Okay? Now, in theory, that should be fine. Okay? There's a little problem which you have to discuss, which is with 1 second. Since I'm just an investor and not a worker, we're going to have a problem. We'll worry about it in a minute. Well, what happened 1 second? But then, since I lent you half, and I'm getting profit for you working my money, so who paid you to do the work? So if I get profit on my 50% investment without paying you, then I'm getting interest. You're working for free for me lending you the money. That's also a problem. Okay, we'll discuss it. But for right now, the simple point is what? I certainly have a right to half the profits of the money I put in because I invested half, and it's in danger, So getting half the profits for half of the investment is not a problem. I'm not getting interest in that respect. Why? Because I'm in danger of losing it. So that's called an investment. And now, whenever if I give you money and get guaranteed profit, okay, that's interest. Okay, that's an interest. If I'm at risk, that's called an investment. And so we understand. So we have a classic issue. A guy says, listen, take my stuff. Here's the stuff. I'll give you the stuff. I'll give you the money. We'll split the losses. We'll split the profits. That should be fine. What happens is, at a certain point, sometimes the guy will say, listen, you know what? I'll tell you what. I'm going to be a nice guy. You know what? The second I get a certain amount of money, you can have all of this. Think about it. You can have all of this. You know what? We're here. We're putting in $100. 50 me 50, you 50. Okay? And you know, this thing, you can make $100. I could get 50, so you know what? I don't need it. I'll be happy with that. So I don't care whether it makes money, doesn't make money. You know what? You give me the 10, and I won't ask you anything. you made 100. Yeah, give me 10. You understand? So you say, what's he saying? So I'm a nice guy. I won't demand any more. Now that's fine when the guy made more than 10. What if the guy lost money and he gets that? And it's like interest. So here's the problem. So you're starting to see the beginnings of what we call that risk. What is that? What do I do? I'm gonna let all the cats out of the bag right now. Here, what happens? Let's say you really need money for your business, and I really want to lend it to you. And I'm not a big guy. I'm a good Jew. I don't want to lend you money at interest. And you say, listen, lend me the money. Well, I said, I'd love to. The money you need. You need $100 for your business. I support my family with that $100. Every week I take the $100 and I invest in. I buy bananas and I buy grapefruits and I sell them. That's I support my family. So and I make on 100 every week. I make $20 every week. I make $20. That's how I support my family. If I give you my 100, I won't support my family. You say, listen, support your family. He says, if I don't get this 100, I'm gonna lose $5,000. I'm gonna lose my business. I need the 100. I'll gladly give you the 20. You see, it's like, I'll gladly give you the 20. He doesn't. With these guys, nobody's looking to scalp any. He says, oh, please take 20. Just give me the $100. I'll save my business. Now, I want to help the guy, but the guy said, no, I can't do it. I'm not allowed to lend him 100 to get back 20. So what do we do? I say, look, I got a great idea. Listen, I got a great idea. Listen, I'm going to go into business with you. Listen, I'm investing 50 and I'm lending you 50. Hear this? I'm investing 50 and I'm lending you 50. And we are partners for losses and for gains. So if we lose the money, I lost 50. I'm going to take a chance. Because you're my friend, I'm going to take a chance. Maybe I'll lose my money. I'll lose 50. I'm not going to lose more than 50 because you have 50 is the loan. You're going to pay me the 50 no matter what, whether you win or lose. But I may lose my 50. Now, if we make profit, I get half the profit. Isn't that great? That's fantastic. I get half the profit. Now, the only what, really, I don't really want that money. I just want to make sure that I get the 20 to support my family, right? That's all. That's all I'm telling you. I said, look, I'll tell you what. Really, the rule is, if you go out and you do business together, you're going to have to give me an accounting and show me exactly how much money you made and what the expenses were. You made 100, you made 50, you didn't make anything, you made 6. You're going to have to give me an accounting. And I even can make you swear to me, what the true accounting is. I'll tell you that. I got it. That's too much trouble. I don't make you keep the books. You're my friend. I trust you. You know what? All you got to do is like this. Anytime you want, just give me $20. and and I'll believe whatever you tell me. Just give me $20, and I'll essentially sell you my part. You can buy me out of the business for $20. Just give me back my investment. You can buy me out for 20. You understand what I'm saying? Here, it's for 20. The business is yours. Okay, that's called the head. That's the way we solve the problem. Hey, listen, you know what? Just so at what would be the interest rate? I'm saying, you know what? Hey, whatever you want, buy me out for 20. I won't ask any questions. You made 1,000. God bless you. You made 10. Just whatever you want, buy me out for 20. You understand what we just did? I just found a way to give him. I found a way to get my 20. You understand that I need without interest. So I said, listen, I own half of this business. You want to buy me out? Give me back my 50 that I put in. Give me back my money that I put in, and buy me out for 20. You made 1,000, great. I won't answer any questions. I won't answer any accounts. I won't answer anything. Just pay me 20. You see what we're doing? Okay. Now that is a classic way, and now we have to worry about. We have to give him $1 for his work. Yes, we have to pay him. We'll discuss it. So now, but you have to understand. But the way I told you, okay, I'm a little maybe I wasn't 100% exact, but that's basically a way that we can solve the problem. Okay, now. That's the whole point. The whole point. What is this? I'm showing you. Why am I doing this? I don't want your money. I don't. I'm not getting. You got stuff. You need $100. I would happily lend you my $100 without interest, as God told me to. But what? I can't afford to. I need the 100 to keep my push bike going. I gotta buy fruit and bananas to sell. So I say to you, so here I have no interest. I wasn't trying to go into the business. God bless you. Go do your business. All I want is I want my 20. Oh, so they write. So they write a paper. 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 He says, you whatever you want, whatever you feel like, you can buy me out. That's how they do it. Okay, now you understand the basic. Now, if any of these parts are missing, listen to what I'm saying. Then we're in trouble. Understand? Anytime you have a guaranteed profit, it's interest. You understand? Anytime your profit's guaranteed, that's interest. No risk, is interest. You understand? Investment with no risk is what is a loan at rivers. You understand? Investing with no risk is essentially lending money for interest. You understand what I'm saying? That's the principle. Okay, so we're going to see. So now we're going to, as usual, the Gemara comes in from the side. So we're going to get some anomalies and then get to the meat of the matter. Okay, in the next mission. So in the process, now everything I told you should be helpful. You'll see it was worth the time. You'll see. I hope you'll see what's it. Okay. Now, Amar Rabba Hilchasa. Okay, here's three halachas. Lo katashi papanoi. It's not like remember the silent uh, interest that Rav Papa said was mutter. Okay. Okay. Below kashtare. Now, what was that? Remember where Papa used to make beer, and he used to make a deal, and he would sell the beer at the cheap time. The people who didn't have money would say, "Listen, hey, I'll sell you now the beer in Nissan when it's expensive for the Nissan price. You'll have the money in Nissan, you'll give it to me." So it looks like what he's looking like he's just because they're lending them the money for the beer and waiting and not getting the money. He makes them pay the high price. It looks like interest. He said, "No." He said, "Since I don't need the money, my beer doesn't go bad. I could just as well wait and get it anyway. So therefore, it's not interest." But the rabbi said to him, "No." They said, "No. From your side, it doesn't look like interest, but the person that you're selling it to is ending up paying more money for not having the money now. Because if they had the money now, they would buy it for cheap. So for the fact they don't have money, they're paying you the higher price. They're waiting." So they said, so one, he says, let's have a look at Tashi Papanai. One, not like the mute interest of Rav Papa that he held was mutter, like the Rav Zorg, halacha doesn't follow him, you're not allowed to do it. The lokashtar mechazanoi, we're going to see what that is in a minute. Not like the contracts of the people in Mechuzah. The lokahakire agarshoy, nor like the land rentals of Nashar. We'll see. The Tashi Papanai, okay, Aina Katashi Rav Papa, okay. We said what was the papa the Papodian silent interest? That was Katashna Papa. That was like the silent interest of Papa that I just said to you, but that's not the law. What were the papers of the people of Mechuzah? So this is now a case that I told you, and you'll see. The Zafale and the Rav Karna, what they would do is they did something that wasn't right. What I told you away, you can how it's not considered interest, it's fine. But what they used to do is like this: the guy would say, "Listen, here, I'm giving you $100, or $100 worth of merchandise, or $100, whatever it is. 50 me, 50 I'm lending you, and 50 in, and I'm going to get half of the profit." And then he figured, they like to show him say, "Well, they figure let's say the profit's going to be 20. I figure the profit's going to be 20." So instead of saying I'm going to get half the profit, he says, "You know what? You owe me 50 and 10, and after they automatically just put in, you owe me back the money I lent you. You see the money, the money I lent you, my investment, and plus 10." So he figured the profit beforehand. Now you realize what that's on one hand it's fine. Why? Because if that was half the profit, he's fine. And if the profit was much more, he's saying, "Listen, I'm a nice guy. I'll let you get it all for 10. I won't ask any questions." You see what I'm saying? But what?
It sounds so fishy, the whole
It
thing.
does sound fishy.
Because, I mean, we're talking about linguistics over here.
So I told you, my teacher, Rav Zalman Nehemiah Goldberg Zitzal, he said when the numbers are fishy, you're not allowed. We have to talk about it. People make contracts that are fishy. But I don't want to talk about fishy. What's my good guy? Here, we are good Jews. We love to do business and help each other. Business is good for everybody. And we have to find a way to do it that it's mutter. So over here, this would be fine, except for one point. What's the problem? If the profit was really more than 10, you understand, and he let him off for 10, he's a nice guy. But if he guarantees 10, what if the profit is what? What if the profit was 5? Then the guy's paying it back everything plus 10. The guy get interest. You see what's happening? Taking 10, guaranteed 10 is fine when the profit was 10 and above. What if the profit was 10 and below? Was below 10? Yeah, it's ribbons. It's going to look like ribbons, or ribbons. So he said they didn't like what they did. That's what they did. The Zakveli Rav Karna, they would automatically add in the contract. They would put the whole price back. They have to pay back. They would add the interest. They'd add the projected profit to the principal. The cost of the and they write it right to the paper. Okay. All right. Now, and what's the problem? Why is Allah not like them? Who says there's going to be a profit? So it's going to be what? says they won't make it. And really, what? He's really paying him interest. Amalei Mar Bar Meimer Rashi. Mar Meimer said to Rashi, 1 second, he says, my father used to write that kind of contract. My father used to write that. He used to do it. The Chiyatu Lakame, and it wasn't a problem when they came back and they would say to him, okay, Mehemelu, if they told him that what? That the profit was worth less than 10, for example, he'd say, okay, I believe you, so don't pay me the 10. So it was no problem. He used to write the 10 in, but if they told him it was less than 10, so he didn't take it. So what's the big deal? So he never took interest. What's the big deal? He trusted them. He told him. Okay, Amalei says to him, Ravashi said to him, look, that's very nice. That's a very nice idea as long as the guy who did that lived. And it came to him. It says, what's going to be a case where a guy wrote a paper like that and he's not alive? And by the time they come back with less profit than 10, you know who has the paper? His kids. And they don't trust anybody. And the guy's going to say, and they're going to demand what? The 10. Yeah, and they're going to demand the 10. So he said, yeah, that's right. That's right. You're not allowed to write those papers because there's no way to guarantee. Okay. So this is an expression from the pasuk. It's like an error that comes out of the government when the once the ruler says something, you can't take back his decree. See, even if he said something by mistake and it's unfortunate, he can't take it back. Also over here, once he said about dying, enough nafshe damema. Talachachim spoke about dying, and damema died. That's why Talmidei Chacham has to be very careful about anything that they say. Okay, what was the third case that we said this is not halal? Huh? Okay, Chakiri and Arshoy. These are people who rented land in Arshoy. It's a very interesting case. Think of this. We said a person can collateralize their land to the lender, and the lender has rights, to use the land. He pays off a price every year, has right to use the land. No, if you rent out the land to somebody else, yes, I have an idea. What about this? This is a great idea. The guy borrows money from a guy, collateralizes the land to the guy, and then rents his own land back from the guy. He rents it back. He collateralizes land to the lender. The lender has rights to the land, okay, and the lender now rents it back to the guy. Rents it back to the borrower. So the borrower got the benefit of the loan, and the guy's renting it back there. Okay, no, so let's take a look. So this is what they would do. He say, Mashkan le Planya Arlapanya. Mr. X. Mr. X collateralized his land to Mr. Y for a loan that he got. And then Mr. X, who took the loan, he rented it back from the lender. Okay. And he's paying a certain price per year. A certain amount of produce per year. Okay, a set price, $20 worth of produce. So Amos Kana. Okay, now what's the problem? It's a real problem that they used to do that. Why? He says, when did the owner acquire it? One second. How did the owner ever acquire it that he should be renting it back to him? It's not his, okay? It doesn't belong to him. And therefore, when he's taking the rent from the borrower, it's really, again, he's just taking interest from the borrower. He doesn't own it to rent it back to him, okay? And why is that? Because since he has no chance to lose, okay? Because he doesn't own he has no chance to lose. Okay, so therefore what? He's always going to get this rental pay, and he's taking interest. Okay, so he said, those are three situations that we are not allowed to do. We said, but these days they're called costly offer. But he said, now since these days, when they make those kind of deals where the borrower rents it back from the lender, they write he says, listen, he says they write in the paper. He says, I acquired it from the borrower, and I lived there several years, several periods of time. And then the guy, okay, and then I went back and rented it back to the borrower. So therefore, then we can say, once they write it like that, in order not to lock the doors in front of borrowers, in order to make people willing to lend money, we allow them to do it. Allow Milsi, but that's what he said. But the truth is, it's not true. Even if he stayed at 3 years, etc., it's still forbidden. Why? Because since there's no loss for the lender, it's like he's getting interest. Okay, now we're going to get into the heart of the matter. We're going to get into the principle where people want to make an iska, like I told you, they want to make a 50-50 deal, 50 for the loss, 50 for loss, 50 for profit, which means what? 50% investment, 50% loan. Okay, and we're going to split the profits. So splitting the losses means I'm investing 50% loss. Splitting losses means what? that the investor is investing 50 and lending 50%, and he's going to get 50-50 in the profits. But we're going to see cases where you still can't do it. Why? Because remember, just what's the last problem? Even if, even if even if the investor is likely it has a chance to lose his 50%, and therefore he certainly has a right to 50% of the profit because he invested 50% in the company. It's not interest. But since somebody's working, since he's just an investing partner, so why is the other guy working to make the profit for him? So he has to. If he's not going to find a way to compensate the guy who does the work, even though he's only getting the money back on his possible loss of 50, okay, but he's getting his 50% work for free. That's interest. So it must be interest on the 50% that he lent him. The fact that the guy's working his vulnerable 50% for free must be what? Interest on the 50% that he guaranteed him back as a loan. That's a problem. So how do we have to solve that problem? That's what our mission. That's where the curtain opens on this mission. It says, "Aim Beshiva and Sanbani," and the message starts. I want to give merchandise to the storekeeper for half, 50-50. Well, here, we evaluate, I gave 100%, $100 worth of stuff. Okay, I'm 50%, 50% invest, 50% lend, and we'll share the profits and the losses. You're not allowed to do it, okay? Unless, as we'll see, below you tame, most, the Kafman payers, or similarly, I can't give a guy $100 actual money and say what, 50-50 and 50-50 up and down. Okay, why? No same low sorrow to fall. Unless I give the working partner what his salary like a worker. Otherwise, I'm getting my investment work for free. That's interest. I have to pay him. Amy, we'll see what it means. I have to pay him like a worker. We'll see what that means. Amy, she even talking on the method. Same thing. I want to say to a guy, listen. I want to say like this. Here. I got eggs. They say here. You got a chicken. You put your chicken on my eggs. Okay. You put your chicken on my eggs to incubate the eggs. Okay. And we'll split the profits. And the same thing. We cannot also, and you cannot. And we're going to evaluate the price. We're 50-50. 50-50. In other words, what? Let's explain. No, we're gonna evaluate the eggs today and the eggs later when they grow into chicks. Okay, or chicks. The same thing. The guy's going to give the animals. You want to take calves, young cows, and young horses. The method. I'm going to give it to the shepherd, to grow them. Okay, and I'll say we'll say how much we're 50-50, and you'll grow them. We'll split the profits. And you can't okay, you have to pay the guy the price of his work in growing them, and the food that he feeds them. You have to again, otherwise what? Otherwise I'm getting interest. But even though I'm 50-50 invested, I'm going to get 50% profit. It's going to be interest. Why? Because since it's work for free, so I must be getting interest on the 50% that I lent the guy. But here's what you are allowed to do. Here, if you don't evaluate, okay, if I don't evaluate the price, okay, of the calves, and I don't evaluate the price of the horses, okay. And if they die, the guy doesn't pay me anything. I just give it to him. And here's these things. You don't owe me anything. If they disappear, you owe me nothing. Okay, I'm not lending you anything. And as they live, we'll split the animal. We'll split the grown animals between us. Then I can give it without evaluating, and they can grow them. When he grows them until they're a third grown, or 3 years grown, whatever it is. The chamor or donkeys until they are old enough, to carry a load, and then they can split the profits. We'll see what that means. Then it's okay. Why? Because the guy's not responsible for any of the losses, so then there's no problem in him working the animals. Okay, when we said that you have to pay the guy like a worker, the Brisa said, well, not any worker, but kapol baka. What is kapol baka? The difference is, why my kapol baka? What do you mean? He said, no, what is a kapol baka? Usually a worker means what? How much you pay a guy? A guy has to go to work every day. Goes every day to work and makes $100. $100. So you know what? Stay home. How much would you take to stay home? I said, well, to stay home, he'll do nothing. To do nothing, I'll take 20. To have a day off, you want to pay me to have a day off? 20. Pay me not to go to work? 20. To do nothing, pay me 20. He says, "But it's Micah Paul Boys. What do you mean? It's not you. He's not doing any work. The guy's working. The guy's working in the business. What do you mean? Why should you pay him like an idle worker? How much would you pay to do nothing? He's not doing nothing. He's doing something. It's not true. The guy's working the business." Rabbi somebody says, "No. Kapol bato shel also for the nothing." It means what? It means like a person who is idle from whatever work they're idle. See, here's the difference. If a guy's going to work, let's say, as a shopkeeper, you gave him wine, and you're 50-50, and he's gonna sell it out or whatever. He's gonna take care of the business. So you pay him as if he were better than a shopkeeper. Let's say he was a I don't know, some kind of skilled worker, more skilled. No, a carpenter. He's a carpenter. So let's say a carpenter gets more money. Let's say a carpenter gets more money than a shopkeeper. So when you're going to get a carpenter to not be a carpenter for the day, will ask for more money than he asks him to be a shopkeeper. He's going to ask you for more money than a shopkeeper. The price of a carpenter not going to work is more than a shopkeeper. You have to pay them not the price of the shopkeeper. You have to pay him what? The price of a carpenter being a shopkeeper, which is more than a shopkeeper.
Commensurate with what is normal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Doing his own kind of work.
Right. So you're paying him more than, even though you're getting to do the work of a shopkeeper, you have to pay more than a shopkeeper. Okay. What a carpenter would charge less, to charge to be a shopkeeper for the day, to get less than a carpenter. Okay, which is more than a shopkeeper. Now we're going to see different opinions. Now we only have a problem. You notice that the Mishnah gave us two examples of the 50-50 you can't do unless you pay the worker. One example was we gave the guy merchandise. One, we gave him money to buy the merchandise. What's the difference? It's the same principle. In both cases, unless you pay them to work the business, you're getting interest on. It looks like you're essentially getting interest on the percent that you lent him. So he says, why do you have to give me both cases where you gave him merchandise or to the shopkeeper, or where you just gave the guy money to buy the slura? He says, you need both. Had you taught me the case of the shopkeeper, it's specifically when is it enough just to pay him like a guy who didn't do the later work? Okay, that's enough to pay him that, and it's not called this because he's not working a lot. Okay, why? Because you're giving him the actual produce. It's not that hard. You give him the finished product in hand. He just has to sell it. Okay, almost the but if you're going to give him money, he has to first go buy the merchandise. Then he has much more work. He has to go find the merchandise. It won't even be enough. You won't even be able to pay him what like an idle worker of another craft. That won't be enough. You have to give him much more. Most the if you say what if you taught me the second case when you just gave him money to buy it, and that there you have to pay him for his work. Have a mina possible the boy. Okay, when do you have to pay the guy the high price like a worker because he's doing a lot of work? He has to go out and buy the stuff. But a shopkeeper where you're giving him the merchandise in hand, the low where he's not the low he doesn't have a lot of work. You say what? That any little thing you give him is enough to offset the possibility that you're getting interest. Now, if all you let him do is dip his food in your fish brine, okay, go guess you let him eat one dried fig. Okay, echas. That would be enough. Like we'll see an opinion later. If we need both, they say no. In either case, you have to pay him the high price of the. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so here, but the point is, you're going to see the second way. See three opinions. Here, the reason why maybe starvation wages are good because it doesn't matter that much. The whole point is he's paying, as long as he's getting something, you're paying him for his work. You're not getting interest. That's the whole deal. Tanarabana, we learn okay, how much money do you have to give the person, the working partner in these businesses in order not to be considered interest? Okay, so the first opinion is what whether you pay him a lot or a little, as long as you agree to a price for the work. You remember what I just said, very important. As long as you set a price, it's good enough to win it. Set a price, any price. Rabbi Yehuda says no. He says He says no. You don't have to set any price. You don't have to do anything. And as long as as long as the worker just at least dipped his bread in your fish brine, or just ate one dried fig with you, it's enough. That's enough. You don't even have to make a deal. As long as ultimately he gets some little benefit, that's enough to offset the interest. Rabbi Shimon Yochai says no. He says no. You must pay like our Mishnah. You have to pay the full price of what of an idle worker, like we learned before. Tanraban we learned. Ein shaman losa izim losa you can't evaluate goats or sheep to give to the herdsman to grow, okay, 50-50. And not any kind of animal that's not going to support itself by its own work, like a working ox or things like that. Okay, lemechla. You can't give it for half. Why? Okay, because what? Because since the guy's not going to get any benefit from their work, he's working them for free, and you're what? And you are getting interest. Shaman says, no, you can. You could just do 50-50 on goats. Why? If they shechovos, because they give milk, so he gets the milk, and that's enough to offset the interest. And you can do 50-50 on sheep also. If they should go because what? Because they have shearings. You can get the shearings. The shotfos or wool comes off when they go in the water, and he gets that wool. That's enough to offset the interest. With tarfos, okay, and furthermore, well, all these things, and also because he gets the wool that's pulled off onto the thorns and thistles. Okay, that's a tiny golas, and you also give a chicken for half, 50-50 without paying. Why? But they show some accounts because the chicken also it produces its own support. Why? Because it gives eggs, and so the worker gets the eggs. Okay, and you pay them off. Hi, the Tanakama. Okay, 1 second. So no, that was already Yossi. What are the first opinion on? He says Giza v'chalav l'sipul l'sachar malam is on. Understand? So according to the first opinion, you're going to tell you what that the shearings and the milk is not good enough to pay the worker. How come how come the Tanakama held that's not good enough to pay for the work and for the food that has to feed the animal? The answer is what? He says you're right. There's no argument about actual shearings or milk. Everyone agrees that's sufficient. That's good enough to pay off the worker. Where's the argument between the Tanakama of Yosef and Yehuda? It's by the water that comes off of the refuse of milk. After the milk curdles, the water comes off. That's cheap. It's cheap water, the tertiary, okay, or what? Also the kind of real remnants of wool, not shearing, but the wool that comes off from the water, the wool that comes off from the thorns. That's the argument. Tanakama saw like Rabbi Shimon Yochai. The Tanakama holds what like Rabbi Shimon Yochai. The Amar saying Rabbi Shimon, you have to pay the guy very well. So that little bit is not a good pay. You give me a nothing. Okay, Rabbi Yehuda saw by law Kavua, but Rabbi Yehuda hold like his father. Rabbi Yehuda, well, what the Amar? Well, what? I feel totally melted. He holds that you don't have to pay much, anything enough that he dips his food into your brine. Okay, if the guy just eats one dry fig, it's good enough. It's far. See, if we held what also, so these cheap forms of payment of what? Of the little bit of wool that comes off in the water or the thorns is good enough. The rabbis taught. A woman can rent her chicken to the person who has the eggs for the payment of what? Of 2 chicks a year. My chicken will sit on your eggs for 2 chicks a year. Because she's renting, it's not a problem. But Isha Amr the woman's friend, and he go and show the here, the chicken's mine and the eggs are yours, okay? And I'll sit my chicken on them, okay? And what? And I'll grow the babies up. We'll split the chicks. Yehuda says it's permissible. Rabbi Shimon says it's forbidden. Okay, and now why? Okay, now obviously it's where she's accepting half of the loss of the eggs. So the egg lady. So the egg lady is the investor, 50-50 loan, 50 investment. Okay, so therefore what? So therefore the chicken lady is working the egg lady's half, okay, for free. That's the problem. Okay, Rabbi Huda. Okay, lo boy sarmola mazana. How can Rabbi Huda say it's okay? It should not be okay. Okay, why can Rabbi Huda? Rabbi Huda should agree with the other Tana. Why are you allowed to do it? How you're not? The egg lady's not paying the chicken lady, and it's not paying the chicken lady. And the egg lady's getting interest by having her half of the eggs work for free. So what? Don't worry, because even though she gets half of the chicks, but the chicken lady gets all the bad eggs. They're eggs that don't what I mean. They're eggs that don't produce chicks, and they're not so edible, but they're good enough. They're a little bit. It's a little bit of pay, and that's enough. Consider it payment for the work that she does. Tanarabanan, we learn. Okay, in a place where what? Where if you give over, let's say, young calves or horses to the herdsman, for half pay, 50-50 investment, for the grower, and you get and then the grown things you split. Where the minhag is, remember, but the guy has to pick up these little animals. He has to carry them back and forth. If the minhag is to pay for it, you have to pay it. And you can't change whatever the custom is in the country. You have to do. Shimon Gamliel, he says what? He says no. He says shamin ego imo b'sayach imimo. He says no. He says, you know what? He says you don't have to give special for the calf and for the baby horse. Why? They go together. Why is that? Because they follow the mothers, and he doesn't have to go and take them in and take them out. Even where they pay it in cash, even in a place where they pay in a place where you give young animals and you pay in cash for the trouble of the worker to lift them up. And in case you gave them with the mother, you don't have to pay anything. Why? Because they're automatically taken care of by the mother. They follow the mother, and he's not doing any special work. One more little piece. Shimon Gamliel. Okay. Hi, Shimon Gamliel, who said what? That when you have to pay, when it goes with the mother, how come we, a boy's farm, how come we have to pay for lifting up the animals? So like I told you, he could go lol him. He says, it doesn't matter. He says, even though maybe I didn't explain, even though they're going to follow the mother, sometimes the guy's going to have to pick him up and carry him. So still you're getting free work without paying its interest. He says, he could go lol him. Since the worker gets the dung, which also had value, as dung. He said the window, Shaka with the Tanakama didn't hold the dung was enough payment. He says, Galal He says, no, because it's automatic. All the owners of the animals automatically abandon ownership of the dung, and it's not considered payment. Okay, but I went through, but I think we pretty much got the principle over here. Okay? And from here, you see the foundation of how to make a proper iska also, so how we can know when we want to follow the Torah, and I want to guarantee a return. I want to guarantee a return for the lender legally. Because L'Shem Shamayim, the guy's a good person. That's the purpose. That's his, because we understand basically how to do it.
If you have your art store at the end,
Oh, they do.
And so you could
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Anyway, it's a beautiful thing. Yeah. You have to have ways around. You have to have everything. And you have to have the normal world. You have to have a way to do business. You have to have a way to help people. Sometimes you're always going to get stuck. Your best friend's going to be stuck. You're not going to be able to help him. Because if you don't have the Iska, your best friend's going to get stuck and you can't help him. And you could help.
everything needs to work on it.
Yeah. So you have to have the that's right. Unless God says no. Okay, but otherwise that's the way to do it. All right, it's nice stuff. It's interesting stuff. This stuff. What do you say? How about so what do you say? You want to go into business? All sports? We deliver yeah, in a brown paper bag.